Hello friends, I am Farhan from HLTF Tech and today I am going to tell you about how SharePoint manages its databases in SQL Server. We all know that SharePoint uh, creates its own database in the SQL Server. All you need to do, you interact with the SharePoint interact itself with the database server, and it creates as well as manages all the tables uh, itself. You don't need to go and alter those tables. uh, you don't need actually, although you can, but Microsoft doesn't recommend. Okay, now let me tell you through demonstration how SharePoint website manages its database and what are the best practices while designing your web application. Let's suppose we have a web application. We have a web application created in SharePoint. Let's suppose I will say the URL is testportal.hltftech. Okay, this is the website which I have created in SharePoint. This web application is, up till now, it's just a container. This container can host multiple sites. Okay, after creating this web application, we create site collections. What we create site collections. What are site collections? Site collections are actually uh, a group of sites in which a group of people interact. Okay, this is a site collection A. We name it at A, and similarly, whenever we will create a site collection, what will happen? Let me tell you. Whenever we create a site collection, a database is created related to that site collection. Okay, so one database is created as according to the site collection. This database is responsible for site collection A, and all the data that is fed into the site collection A is fed from site collection A through web application to this database of site collection. Okay, let me prominent it. Let me increase its weight so that it is visible. Okay, now I will name it DB of site collection A. Okay, so what if I create multiple subsites? This thing is very important, please listen it carefully. That if we create multiple subsites in a site collection, then all the data of this site subsites will also go in the database of site collection A. Okay, similarly, what actually happens if we direct all our users if we direct all our users all our user groups, if we create only one site for these user groups, then what is the drawback? All the data will go through this site collection into only one database. Okay, so this database size will grow very rapidly. Okay, and it is very clear that whenever the database size grows, your query becomes expensive and your retrieval process of the data becomes expensive. Okay, so it's not a good practice that you design one site collection for all the user groups. Okay, what you will do as a best practice, you will segregate these user groups. Okay, you will define different user groups, and for each user groups you will create a new site collection. Okay, so what is the benefit of this? Whenever you create a new site collection, a new database will be created, so that if for example you were saving 1 TB of data in this site, if you have only one site, then you have to save all the data that is 1 TB size. For example, you have to save in 1 TB. Okay, now what I have done, I have divided it into two site collections, and two user groups can collaborate with their site separately. So the data is divided into 500 GB and 500 GB if it's total 1 TB. Similarly, it's recommended that you design your architecture with multiple site collections if you have a big data, okay, or if you have large data, so that there are multiple databases created for all these sites. Okay, so it is while designing your system or your web application, you must consider these things, that whenever you create the web application, you must create multiple site collections in it. So there is no need, instead of creating subsites, because these subsites are housed in this site collection, so they will all depend on this database. You should preferably use multiple site collections, so that each site collection have its own database, and the data is divided into or segregated into multiple databases, so that its growth becomes normal or slower, and its retrieval as well as query becomes easier or effective. Okay, so if you have any question regarding this database interaction with SharePoint, or how SharePoint interact with its database, please leave your comments. I will pleased to answer you or guide you, and also subscribe my channel, so that you may uh, be see my later videos about advanced topics about SharePoint. Okay, thank you.